Hey everybody, thanks for coming to dance with me. I'm Laura, and today we're going to learn a little routine and then we're going to use that to play with phrasing. It's going to look a little bit like this. Easier time learning this routine if you already know the Suzy Q and the chase. If you don't know those, I have video tutorials of those in the description. And before we get started, thank you to the people of Patreon for helping to support me and making this video free for everybody in the world, including people like you. And if you want to join them, the link's in the description. All right, let's get started. To learn this choreography, I'm going to be facing away from you and we're just going to be playing music. I'm going to dance, you're going to follow along. We'll break it down into tiny chunks and then we'll build it up through that over the duration of the song. So just watch, use your eyes and your mind to follow along. After the song's over, we'll go back, we'll do a little bit more of a breakdown and then we'll keep on going. So here we go.
Somebody loves me, I wonder who he can be. Somebody loves me, I wish I knew who he can be. Worries me. For every guy who passes by, I shout, hey, maybe you were meant to be my loving baby. Somebody loves me, I wonder who. Maybe it's you. I knew who he can be. Worries me. For every guy who passes by, I shout, hey, maybe you were meant to be my loving baby. Somebody loves me, I wonder who. Maybe it's you.
All right, that's the first phrase. Now let's cover two details. Number one, that Suzy Q variation into the triple step. Now most of the time in Lindy Hop, you triple step in a direction starting with the leg already in that direction. So right, left, right. triple step. But in these triple steps, you start with your inside leg. You're starting with the leg not already in that direction. Now, if you're not used to this kind of triple step, it can be kind of tricky. If it is, just keep on practicing it, you'll get it. Anyhow, something that I do to help that moment make sense is I push my hip out, and that helps make that inside leg begin the triple step. Additionally, that hip pushing out helps you, the viewer, know that I didn't just forget how to do a Susie cue. No, this is an intentional variation. Now, whether or not you opt for that hip push out moment, see what you can do to make that transition look intentional and obvious. Number 2, let's go off the fall off the log chase move. First, let's clap out the rhythm to make sure we understand it. Now, when this move is in the choreography, what count does that fall off the log part start on? 2. That's right. So considering the fall off the log is on count 2, that means you need to prepare on count 1. Now that we have that in our mind, we're gonna go a 1, 2, 3, 4, da-do, ha, boom. 5, 6, a 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. 6, a 5, 6, 7, a 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. 6, a 1 more time, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. If your head knows what the rhythm is, it's going to be so much easier to get your feet to do it. On top of the accurate rhythm, remember your arms. It's going to look so much cooler if you use your arms. Okay, now let's work on the second phrase, and we're going to start with the pose from the chase move that we just did, and that pose is on count 1.
Somebody loves me. I wonder who he can be. Somebody loves me. I wish I knew who he can be. Worries me. For every guy who passes by, I shout, hey, maybe you were meant to be my loving baby. Somebody loves me. I wonder who. Maybe it's you. wish I knew who he can be. Worries me. For every guy who passes by, I shout, hey, maybe you were meant to be my lover, baby. Somebody loves me. I wonder who. Maybe it's you.
Okay, that's the whole thing in 2 chunks. Now, before we put those 2 chunks together, let's go over a few details from phrase 2. First, the transition from the chase to that clap forward thing. Take a look. You can see instead of doing the regular chase footwork, fall off the kick step, I'm going 1 and 3, fall off the kick and step. Check it out one more time more slowly. 1 and 3, fall off the kick and step. You got it. All right, second detail, let's go over that clap forward thing. Possibly the most self-plagiarized move I have ever used. It might also not even be mine. I may have stolen it from somebody. At this point, it's hard to know. Anyway, first, you gotta know that rhythm. Let's clap it and stomp it out. Starts on count 1. Here we go. 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8. For those of you who want counts, I practiced super hard on this, so here we go. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7. So proud. Now, I'm not against counts. I think it's a valuable tool for being able to understand a thing in the moment and remember what that thing is later on. But for a sequence like this, I find it really valuable to memorize the music of the step. Boom ba ba doom, boom ba ba doom, boom. Boom ba ba doom, boom ba ba doom, boom. Boom ba ba doom, boom ba ba doom, boom. Boom ba ba doom, boom ba ba doom, boom. Second and much tinier detail, that clap coincides with a kick. This gives me a little height, but I try to keep things low so I can still control my timing. I found that if I do this, the move looks better to me and I have cleaner rhythm. Okay, now let's do the entire routine again and again and again to a song. Between each run, we're going to wait 1 phrase, 4/8, 8 bars. Yes, that means that the routine will bleed over the chorus irregularly, but that's going to be part of the fun. As you're going through the choreography, see if you can notice how the choreography feels different as it lines up to the music differently.
Somebody loves me. I wonder who he can be. Somebody loves me. I wish I knew who he can be. Worries me. For every guy who passes by, I shout, hey, maybe you were meant to be my loving baby. Somebody loves me. I wonder who. Maybe it's you. Loves me. I wish I knew who he
Okay, so now that you have the whole routine, let's use that as a vehicle to play with phrasing. Now, if you're not sure what phrasing is or you have trouble hearing phrasing, I have a video explaining that in the description. Now, if you're new to dancing or to music, you might think of phrasing as existing inside of the phrase. Diggada 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 dee. Diggada 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 dee. Very jazzy, I know. Now, a lot of our jazz moves already kind of break that up because they begin on 8 instead of 1. Ba doobada 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 doo. Ba doobada 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 doo. It already kind of loosens things up. It's built into the system. Now, if you listen to really talented musicians, when they solo, a lot of the times they push their phrasing even farther outside of the box of that phrase. I'll tell you an experience that really made this come to life for me. Years back, some friends and I made a book club and we read Gunther Schuler's Early Jazz, which is very dry and it helps if you have some musical knowledge as you read it. I highly recommend it. Anyhow, Brooks has a vast music collection and he's good at research, so he put all of the songs cited in that book in chronological order, like the actual versions of the songs, and he dated them and he had all the personnel written out. Now, you and I are from the future. We've been listening to musicians that have been building on the shoulders of those musicians for decades, living and breathing in that culture. So it can be kind of difficult to hear that something like bleeding over the phrase is new and special. People have been doing it forever. It's like a fish in water. What's water? When you go back and you listen to all that music chronologically, you can really hear that box. And then you can hear musicians begin to break out of that box. A great example is Fletcher Henderson's 1927 Hop Off, Coleman Hawkins solo. It's like 1 minute 9 seconds into it. I cannot play it for you, but I will have it linked in the description. The song's going along, everybody is behaving, and then Coleman Hawkins just rips in many counts early. The dude comes in on count 5, a full bar before the beginning of that phrase, and he has this nasty descending triplet that he continues on into the phrase, totally bleeding over it. It's gorgeous. It's revelatory. Check it out. You will see the future. Anyhow, let's get back to the choreography. We're probably not going to be able to see the future, but this will give us something fun to play with, hopefully with this phrasing in mind. So the way the choreography is written out now is everything kind of exists nicely and neatly inside of that phrase. We have some things starting on 8, but in general, things line up exactly where you expect them to. Here's a video of me performing it so you can see what I mean. Same choreography, and we're going to move it up 2 beats. So instead of starting on 8, it starts on 6, which means count 1 is now count 7. They told me I wouldn't have to do math if I became a dancer. Interesting. Now let's take that same choreography and we're going to move it back 2 beats. So instead of starting on count 8, we're going to start on count 2, which means count 1 is now count 3. I'm so smart. Math. Encourage you to do this because not only does it read differently as a viewer, it feels different as a dancer, and that differentness can make you think of other things. Now, as a performance, I probably wouldn't make up choreography and then just bump it up or down by 2 beats. I like the combination of it. Sometimes you want things to be right on the phrase. It's very satisfying. It's predictable, and that predictableness can make you feel united with the music. Sometimes you want things to come early and surprise you. Sometimes you want things to come late and surprise you in a different way. If you want some homework, combine the different versions and see what you like best. I hope you had fun and learned a lot. If you did, click like and subscribe. The algorithm loves it when you do that. If you like the music, it's the Prumo Orchestra, and you can find it in the description or buy it right up here. And half of the money that I get from this channel goes towards organizations that support African diasporic artists and art, because Lindy Hop is a Black dance, and that's very important to its cultural identity. And the best way to learn how to dance, I think, is to dance.